Despite introducing one of the lowest number of new Pokemon into the series, part of what makes the Johtomon stand out to me is some of the unique type combinations that they have. For me, it makes it really fun to team build knowing which areas I have to go out of my way to go to in order to utilize as many types as possible. What is up, ghouls, gamers, and goblins? I'm the Potato Bagel, and I'm making a ROM hack of Pokemon Crystal. And the main goal of this hack is to add some uniqueness and viability to the, on average, weak Johtomons. In order to achieve this, I added unique type combinations to some of the Kanto and Johto mons, allowing for more variety in team building. Starting off, I couldn't adjust the types of all the Pokemon without having all the types first, so I added the Fairy type to the game. Across the Kanto and Johto decks, a few Fairy types already exist, and looking at these already Fairy type Pokemon, I'm hoping you can understand what I'm trying to achieve with this. Clefable and Granbull are the only pure fairies representing the physical and special side of things. Meanwhile, something like Togetic can now stand out among all the flying types, no longer being overshadowed by all the normal type ones. The same can be said for Mr. Mime and Azumarill as well. If you watched my video on adding the physical special split, you know that the Dragon type doesn't have much in the way of offense, and the Fairy type is the Dragon busting type, the same way Dark was for Psychic. Couple in the fact that the Fairies outnumber the Dragons and you have a balance issue. To compensate, I removed the Fairy type's immunity to Dragon, making it a resistance, and made Dragon type super effective against normal types. I found that this still makes the Fairy the best answer into Dragon types while not taking away the offensive power that the Dragon type represents. In terms of Fairy type moves, Moonblast and Play Rough are the late game moves covering the physical and special sides. For the early game, I decided on Disarming Voice, utilizing Swift's ability to bypass accuracy checks. In the modern games, Dazzling Gleam was always the go-to TM, but I found that its distribution was too powerful, especially when paired with Psychic, the move, so I didn't want to include it. However, I did want to make sure that a Fairy type move was available in the TM list, and I think I found the best way to acknowledge this. Flash. I made Flash a Fairy type version of Mudslap, and boy was this one of the most clever decisions I made. Flash and Dazzling Gleam are both light-based moves, and by combining their ideas, the Psychic-type Pokemon can still have a Fairy move to cover their Dark weakness while also making the move Flash not completely useless. Plus, this evens out the number of Fairy and Dragon moves at 4 each. Okay, that's enough about the Fairy type. Time to actually move on to what this video is about, the type combos. Starting off, I added a secondary type to each of the Johto starters. I know people like the idea of them being only a single type, but in order to make Meganium actually good, this is what I did. Speaking of, Meganium gets to Fairy type, giving it a neutral answer into the first few gyms, but also balanced out, by getting walled against all the poison type Pokemon. Typhlosion gets to ground typing. It was between this and Rock, but I thought ground was a better type given it's a badger. Typhlosion is also the reason that it added Earth Power as a move, granting it a special ground move. Lastly, Feraligatr gets to dark typing. This made the most sense given it already gets Bite and Crunch through level up, and I think it requires the least explanation. It doubles down on this line serving as the introduction of the dark type, as the familiar move Bite, normal type in Gen 1, is now a dark type move. Sunflora is now Grass Fire, being a sunflower and getting more use out of Sunny Day. Spearow and Fearow are now pure flying. Compared to some of the other birds, this line naturally learns a few more dark moves and less normal moves, but I didn't want Murkrow to feel overshadowed, so I decided on pure flying over dark flying. Onix and Steelix are now pure rock and steel respectively, and Larvitar and Pupitar lose their ground typing. This makes the Geodude and Rhyhorn line the only rock ground types. I did this as Steelix is practically the mascot of this type, and a pure steel type doesn't exist, plus I wanted the typing of the Larvitar line to be parallel to the Dratini line, as they're both the pseudo-legendaries. I added Dark and Steel to Sandslash and Arbok respectively, giving more representation to Johto's new types and furthering the unofficial rivalry of these two lines. I removed the grass typing from Paris and Parasect, adding the ghost type instead to the latter. Just because something is mushroom based doesn't mean it needs to be grass type. Honestly, with how the neural network of Mycelium works, I'm surprised we don't have a psychic type mushroom Pokemon yet. Anyways, Parasect is dead and now a ghost, making it a good user of the added Shadow Claw. I'd like to preface this next one by saying that I don't think I predicted Flutter Mane, but I definitely did. I gave Mischievous the Fairy type. By doing this, there's no longer a pure ghost type, but with only 3 options for a ghost type, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Stantler now gets a typing to match its evolution, normal psychic, and Giraffig's normal typing is now replaced with dark. Girafarig was originally going to be a normal and dark type as seen in its beta sprite, but it was ultimately replaced with normal psychic. Knowing this and its current design, I didn't think it had a need being normal type at all. It has psychic powers and its tail end is evil. Enough said. Looking at the early bug types, I had to make some changes. Aside from learning Poison Sting and having a new move in Toxic Threat in the modern games, there's nothing that alludes to Ariados being venomous and therefore not a poison type. This, along with Beedrill already being a poison type, led me to make Spinarak and Ariados pure bug. This decision also makes it less weird that they get Psychic as a move by level up. As for Ledian, I kept it as Bug Flying and instead changed Butterfree's type to Bug and Psychic. Butterfree still gets some of its flying moves, but I thought that its Psychic type would give it more useful opportunities. Although I didn't want to remove the already sparse Ice type, I found that the overabundance of Water and Ice types very annoying. I made Lapras a pure Water type as it is the most powerful and doesn't really look like an Ice type at all. Cloyster, on the other hand, has its Ice type replaced with Steel. Water Steel is a great defensive combo fitting for an already defensive Mon. This leaves Dewgong as the sole Water Ice type, allowing it to stand out. At least that's what I would say if I didn't give the legendary beast a secondary type as well. That's right, Suicune is now a Water Ice type, which makes a lot of sense. It has a connection to Auroras and Purification, and I thought it fitting to give the Ice type to the one Pokemon with the Frostwalker enchantment. Entei, the Volcano Pokemon, gets the Rock type, a combo only shared with Magcargo. I wanted Entei and Typhlosion to have different types so people didn't feel obligated to want to replace Typhlosion with Entei. That leaves Raikou, whose best secondary typing would be Dark. It starts with Bite, and it uses its lightning strikes to appear and vanish like a ninja uses a smoke bomb. I also think thunderstorms can be seen as dark and dangerous. Whew, that was a lot. I think I covered them all, but I don't know. There's a couple that I'm still up in the air about, like Butterfree and Lapras. There's also a few I'd like to try, such as making Electabuzz Electric Fighting and Magmar Fire Poison. If you guys have any other suggestions, you can let me know in the comments. A lot of these decisions are finalized, but I'd love to hear some arguments for you guys as long as you're respectful. Don't yell at me and call me a stupid idiot just because we disagree on something. That being said, you could call me a stupid idiot for something else and I would probably agree with you. I am just one person. All the things I've said and will say going forward about this ROM hack have been implemented by just me. I am bound to slip up. I am bound to make mistakes. This is one of the many opportunities that you guys will have to pitch your ideas. Thank you, and stay frothy.